सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै शांति शांति शांति.
Bhagavan used to say, Hastasya bhushanam danam. The ornament for the hands is charity. Kantasya bhushanam shastram. Or sometimes Kantasya bhushanam satyam. To speak the truth or to read the scriptures is the ornament for the throat. Shrotrasya bhushanam shastram. To listen to the holy scriptures is the ornament for the ears. Bhushanaihi kim prayojanam, he says. All other ornaments are of no use. We want to look good, we want to decorate ourselves with all kinds of ornamentation and decoration. But our scriptures say, or at least Bhagavan said this way, that the true ornamentation or true beauty to one's personality comes when one does charity through hands, one listens to the scriptural truth through the ears, one speaks the truth, the scriptural truth through the throat, through their one tongue, through their own mouth or tongue. That is when they look good. So we must think of ourselves as beautiful people, well ornamented and decorated, only if we have these qualities with us. All other ornamentations are not true. They may decorate the external body, but internal self remains ugly. So the focus on our beauty, not just to groom and look good on the outside, but more importantly, should be on the inside. At the same time, Bhagavan also would say, the tumbler should be clean and shiny from the outside, just as it is clean from the inside. Many people, what they do, they think, why should I look after myself well? Why should I groom myself? Why should I keep myself clean and well groomed? Because anyway, this is the body and this doesn't matter. No, it matters. Bhagavan says, Deham Devalayam Prokto Jivo Deva Sanatanaha. It is the temple of God. Of course, God is within. But the temple also needs to be kept clean. It also needs to be looked after because there is divinity residing inside. It's not that you look after your body because you want to enjoy your beauty or you want to impress people or you want to make Instagram reels and post it. Not for those reasons. The reason is because this body is a temple of God. It should be treated with dignity and respect. To that extent, one should always be groomed well. One should always look after the body as a temple of God and keep it in good shape, good health. That's an obligation, that's a duty. That is how one should look at doing this, because festivals are there. People are very interested in external celebrations. They want to burst firecrackers, they want to light lamps on the outside, they want to decorate their homes, decorate themselves. And all that happens, especially during these festivals of Deepavali. But I want to again remind them all that the real reason why these festivals are celebrated is much deeper. And when a lamp is lit, it is not merely a decoration of the house. A lamp is lit as a symbol of wisdom that must come to people's homes. Knowledge, the light of knowledge, the light of wisdom should brighten people's minds. And that is the reason why this is done. As the Vachana goes, Alama Prabhu says, Pranati de, Bhatti de, Jyoti Belukavade, Tailavillada Prabhata Nelliyado. How will the lamp ever have a flame? Yes, the earthen lamp is there. The wick is also there. But if there is no oil of devotion, then how can it be lit? How can there be light without the oil of devotion? But if we fill our hearts with the water of worldly ideas, we can't light a lamp with that. So the content of our being, this earthen lamp is the being, our own self, and the mind is the wick. But it must be immersed in the divine thoughts, the thoughts of devotion. And unless devotion is filling your being, devoted to this truth of who you are, there is no way Guru may come and try to strike the matchstick, try to light the wick, but it won't, because it is immersed in water, not in oil. And so, emptying ourselves of all the water and filling ourselves with oil is the process of sadhana, because it's very difficult to get rid of that water which we are used to, the worldly waters. Empty that ourselves with that, and then put the oil of devotion, of bhakti, of wisdom, of spirituality is important to celebrate Deepavali. Some people may say, can I have half water and half oil? Will the lamp burn? I would say you try it out yourself. Go to your home, fill the lamp with half water and half oil, and try to light it. It will burn for some time, it will make some noise and a little bit of smoke, then it will go off. It won't stay. That is the plight of these worldly people who want world also and God also. On the festivals, we want to do some rituals, worship, go to temples and do some dana, listen to some satsangs. But afterwards, we go back to our worldly ways, busy in not enjoying the world, but letting the world enjoy us. Not consuming the world, but letting the world consume us through incessant pursuit of worldly actions. Everything is directed towards some selfish gains. And those actions bind us. Karma bandhini manushya loke. It binds us to this world. The more actions we perform in the world, which are for the selfish sake, the more it binds us to the world. We are thickening that glue which is making us stick to this world. We are filling our lamp with more and more and more of water. And then we also expect wisdom. How is it possible? So, today, for the sake of one practical experiment, do go home, fill one lamp with oil, and fill another lamp with water, and fill the third with some oil, some water, according to your own spiritual status. 30% worldly, 70% spiritual, whatever. Light all the three lamps and remember this truth, that spiritual wisdom will not happen to those who have even a drop of the world in them. It will happen only to those who are completely dry of the world and completely soaked in the oil of spiritual thoughts. Part this, part that, and somehow we will have the lamp burning. Not possible. Try this out for yourself. I know you all know what I am saying theoretically, but try it practically and contemplate on this process. That what is happening inside me is what is happening in the lamp outside me. Yes, I enjoy God for some time. I enjoy godly things for some time, the spiritual knowledge for some time, because that much oil in my lamp helps the wick burn. But not steady. That flame will never be steady. It will keep shaky. It will keep shaking. It will be making noise. And after some time, it will go off. That is what happens to the worldly people who tries the spiritual path, who hold on to the world and also want some spirituality. They are like those whose oil and water is mixed. So even if it burns and gives the temporary illusion that yes, I have attained wisdom. Why? Because the lamp is lit, but it won't last. And the flame will not be steady. Flame will be shaky. Try all these things today. Observe that phenomenon. And then realize how much I must be empty or how much I should be full of spirituality or worldliness. So this process is extremely important. The next chapter that we are starting continuously talks about these things. All these actions and actions and actions and actions. At the end, for what? To what end? For what sake? For this sake only, to enjoy the world, enjoy through the body, enjoy through the mind, through the senses, to fulfill the desires, ambitions, look good, impress everybody, become popular, famous, powerful, influential. All this has been driving us to do so many things. When have we stopped? Even seva has become action now, unfortunately. People take great pride in saying, I am a great volunteer, or I am a great servant of the society, I am a great man of charity or sacrifice or philanthropy. The moment you say like this, you are no more that, because you said it and you ruined it. It is a feeling that you don't even speak out. They are quiet most of the time, such people who do good, who are nice people, they're generally very quiet, they speak very less. And because it is not their nature to speak less or keep quiet, or even if you are doing things, not to feel that fever of the action. So when they come in the company of spiritual people, they feel out of place. Hey, everybody is quiet. Nobody says anything. Nobody is active like this. You have to keep running. You have to, every minute you have to do something, achieve something. That dopamine addiction. Continuously stimulate yourself. And even if they come to do seva, this is what their fate. Keep running around from one building to another, one place to another, keep doing something. Busy bees. Why they do that? They might claim, because I want to do more seva so that I grow more spiritually. No. You are doing more seva because that rajas in you, that desire to keep doing something, the workaholism, has not yet gone away. So do only to that extent it is necessary. Yukta ahara viharasya. So these are the ideas that are going to be discussed in the coming chapter now, where Ashtavakra now speaks. Janaka has spoken. He has explained his thought process in the previous chapters, and now Ashtavakra speaks. What does he say? Ashtavakra uvacha yatha tathopadeshena kritarthah sattva buddhiman ajivamapi jignasuhu parastatra vimuhyati. Another shloka that I keep in my mind always, because many times we go and preach to the wrong people and they don't get it, and then we get frustrated. But the problem is not necessarily in the teacher, it may be in the student. So Ashtavakra says, yatha tathopadeshena, whatever way upadesha is given. Upadesha means the teacher is teaching the truth, like I am teaching Ashtavakra. Even if I am not teaching well, somehow or the other I am speaking, not a very good teacher. Even then, kritarthaha sattva buddhiman, those who have purity of buddhi, purity of mind, they understand it and find fulfillment. Kritarthaha. They understand the meaning of what is being said and feel fulfilled. Even if it is not spoken in the most amazing way. Earlier we said ascharyo asya vakta kushlo asya labdha. The way knowledge is transferred is the speaker should be amazing and the student also should be equally deserving. And both are ascharya, means some sense of wonderment about their capability to teach and to learn. If that happens, then this knowledge gets transmitted very fast. Sometimes the teacher may be good, the student may not be good, then the knowledge happens slowly. But here it says, even if teacher is not so good, if the student is good, they will find the meaning. As in Hindi say, samajhdar ko ishara hi kafi hai. Just a little hint is enough for the clever people. But for the fools, how much ever you explain, again and again and again, nothing goes inside them because they are not capable of it. So it says, if this knowledge is spoken to, even not the best way, yet if the disciple is of pure disposition, his mind is pure, he is sincere, shraddhavan, labate jnanam, it is said, then this knowledge will get transferred, this lamp will get lit. And Janaka is one such disciple, isn't it? Because he has already understood all the things that Ashtavakra was trying to teach. So in a way, he is praising Janaka for whatever has happened so far and the way Janaka expressed himself about how he has understood this truth. Immediately he says, yes, because even if I speak it in an ordinary way, because of the purity of your mind, you will get it like this. You will get it like this. But if purity is not there, half water, half oil, whatever the teacher may try, will the lamp be ever lit? Not possible. So sattva buddhi is very important, that purity of intention, purity of thought, purity of your being, which is like only oil in the lamp without water. When you are in that status, it will catch fire like this. But if it is not so, how much ever you tried, it won't catch fire. So he says, even the teacher is not great. If the student is of such great purity and shraddha, knowledge will happen. And ajivam bhavi jignasuhu, on the other side, On the contrary, Ajivamapi jignasuhu, even if the whole life, idle curiosity person, the person who really has no sincere feelings to learn, he is simply attending the satsang because satsang is going on. It is a rule. He is here because it is a part of the process. He is anyway landed here or she is landed here, they have to attend compulsorily. Otherwise, they won't get lunch and dinner in the ashram. So they attend nevertheless. Jignasu, simply out of idle curiosity. They are not really interested in attaining any knowledge or wisdom. They are fooling around basically. Such people, even if they sit whole life, ajivam api, all life they sit in front of a guru and listen to the lectures, nothing happens. Para tatra vimuhyate. That knowledge of the self will never happen to them, and they will always remain deluded only. They won't understand what is being spoken. They will be confused rather, because they have not come with purity of mind and sincerity of feelings. They've just come for the sake of it. Yet it is being sold. Even spiritual knowledge becomes transaction, a business. How can a guru be like that? Guru cannot sell knowledge because he knows very well this knowledge is not his personal property. It is the divine gift. Likewise, it's like one lamp says, I will give my flame to you if you pay me 10 rupees. You will go and light lamps, right? With one lamp, you will light the other lamp and go on lighting so many lamps. No lamp is charging the other lamp for the flame charges. And on top of that, GST and service tax and God knows what all. Nobody is doing. The flame happily passes on its light to the other lamp, and nobody loses in the process. This lamp is also lit, that also is lit, more light in the room. And nobody lost anything. It only became more when you selflessly share. Knowledge simply multiplies. It doesn't diminish. Beautiful shloka says, Apurvaha kopi koshoyam vidyate tava bharati vyayate vardhate nityam kshayam ayati sanchayat. O Mother Goddess Saraswati, your treasure is a unique one. Never before such a treasure has happened. Because the more we spend, the more it grows. And the more we save, the more it diminishes. Knowledge is like that. So this scriptural knowledge is not somebody's private property that you can charge for it. It should be given free, but it has unfortunately become a big business transaction. Crores of rupees change hands in these satsangs and kathas. How right is it, you tell me? And who come for these kathas? Not all of them have come to listen to katha and feel fulfilled and redeemed, become kritartha. No. Ajimapi jignasu. They're simply out of curiosity, not even curiosity of the katha. They have come for the curiosity of what's there on the menu. That's all it is. So nothing happens in those places. Whereas here, all have been trained for years. From COVID times, we have been speaking about scriptures, so many lectures, hundreds of hours of discourses, and repeated. Bhagavad Gita we read once, we read again, so that it goes inside. Revision also we did together. So much has happened. And so there is a better chance that the lamp will be lit here, not there. And that is why I keep saying, whatever little water is left in the lamp, throw it away. Don't allow that to come in the way of your realization. Some little petty, small ambition or desire, let it not stop you from attaining the wisdom. Let Shraddha be complete, Paripurna Shraddha. Complete Shraddha, let it be there. So he says, Janaka, basically you are such a sincere disciple that little I spoke about how one should attain that state of the self, and you have got it. You become kritartha, you have become fulfilled. Whereas Ashtavakra also might have met people before who were not capable of understanding because they were not sincere about it. They just came for the namesake, simply out of curiosity. They don't get it. Ajimapi jignasu paras tatra vimuhyate. So that ultimate self-knowledge does not happen to them. They keep roaming here, there, from this ashram to that ashram, this guru to that guru, this satsang to that satsang, this yoga to that yoga. Nothing happens to them. Because fundamentally what is wrong is lamp is filled with water. Now you try with a matchstick, you try with a gas lighter, you try with anything. It won't burn. Because the fundamental fault is the water is there in lamp, not oil. Sincerity is not there. Devotion is not there. Mumukshatva is not there. Jignasu he is, not mumukshu. If he is mumukshu, he will get it. If it is jignasu, he won't. That is why Krishna says, Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukritino arjunaha arto jignasu artarti jnani cha bharatarshaba. 4 kinds of people come to me, or different qualities they are. Arti, those who are afflicted by worldly pains and sorrows, sufferings and sickness. They come to seek refuge, relief from that. Fine, I bless them. Then artharthis. That's not enough, we want some more in life. More money, more wealth, more progress, more family, more children, grandchildren, this, that. They also come to ask things from Krishna. They also don't get the self-knowledge. They only get what they are asked for. Then jignasus come, curiosity. Is this Swamiji real? If he is real, let him prove it to us. Let this God really exists, let him do this. These kind of wasteful enquiries. Challenging the gurus and gods, questioning their authority and validity. Or simply, is it real philosophy? I have another philosophy in life. Let me debate and find out who is right. These are all waste of time. But they do that because that is what makes them happy. That is what makes them feel good. Because they are of that nature, jignasus. Then jnanis are there who know God is real and they believe in that existence, and also they are devoted to that idea of several lifetimes of service to the divine, several lifetimes of going to satsangs, living in the company of good has matured them to this state where they love God for God's sake, not for money's sake, not for solving their problems, not even for quenching their curiosity. They love God for what God is, that pure love, pure compassion. They love God for that. Those also come and they get it like this. They get it like this. The others don't get it. Why? Because they don't have true sincerity, they don't have mumukshutva, they have bhukshutva, worldly desires. They cannot get it. So jignasus don't get it right, he says. Even if the whole life they keep doing. In my class also there were people, they would keep sitting in front of their book for 3 hours, 4 hours. Yet they won't get any marks in the exam. You must be having some in your class also. They'll be sitting in front of the textbooks and notebooks and seemingly working very hard, harder than most of the others. Morning 3:30 they'll wake up, open the book and keep reading, writing notes after notes after notes. Afternoon, evening. But in examination they'll fail nevertheless. They'll come and cry, I worked so hard, I did not earn any marks, I failed again. So there were people like that. So they used to come and ask because I was not studying that hard. But I was getting good marks. So they wanted to know what is the secret. But I told, I think you are just spending quantity of time, not quality of time. Your quantity is a lot. 10 hours you're sitting in front of the book, but your mind is somewhere. You're not focusing on what is going on. You simply want to satisfy yourself and somehow feel consoled and comforted in the idea that 10 hours you spent today reading this subject. But did you really read? Did anything go inside you? No, because your mind was somewhere. So I've seen these kind of who slog it out like this, but they attain nothing at the end of it. Whereas a sharp person with good focus and concentration just comes once, sits there, looks at the page, gets it right, and then goes away. And that focus and concentration comes from purity of mind. If you don't have a pure mind, you cannot have a focused mind. If you want concentration, you have to have purity. Impure mind full of distractions and desires can never have the concentration that is necessary either for worldly gains or for spiritual gains. Both ways it does not work. That still and calm and concentrated mind is a must before the spiritual progress begins. That is why Adi Shankaracharya says, he says, Karmani chitya shuddhyartham ekagrartham upasana mokshartham brahma vidyayam iti vedanta dindima. For concentrating your mind, purifying your mind, you must undertake actions only to that extent. If that action is causing more impurity and distractions in you, shun that action immediately. Only actions which are making you pure. You go serve in the hospital, meet a patient. You see their pain and suffering, your heart melts. You thank God for all that you have in your life and don't demand and desire anything more. You feel gratitude for everything that you have already received in your life. May not be equal to somebody else, but that doesn't matter. You see somebody's pain and suffering and you feel bad for them. You serve, you help, you sacrifice for them. that action purifies you. You join the company of stockbrokers, money market manipulators, gamblers, or worldly desirous people, and start following their lead. In the process, ruin the purity of your mind, and your mind is not even concentrated because it is distracted. One thing to other, like housefly, one day on garbage, one day on food. That's what is the mind of these worldly people. Some days they look so devoted that you will think they are the best devotees. Next day they are totally on the other side, absolutely distracted. So for focus and concentration of mind, which is a must for a sattva buddhi is a focused and pure buddhi. It has no ill feelings for anything or anyone. Also, it has no desires, unnecessary desires. Therefore, it is always steady and like a calm sea, as they say, like a still lake. Manasa Sarovara, they say, still lake. The day your mind becomes both pure, which is already true, but also still, absolutely steady, that is when you will be able to see me. Like a reflection is clearly seen in a lake which is both clean and steady. There are no ripples. That is the Mala Vikshepa Avarana that he mentioned yesterday of the mirror of mind. Mala is the impurity. You can't see the reflection. Vikshepa is the unsteady, distorted, disturbed mind. You cannot find God in that also. So this is the idea. Why he is saying this sloka is important, because Janaka is such a uttamadhikari. He got it like this in one discourse. Whereas so many discourses we have all heard, hundreds and thousands of times. But why is it not happening to us? Is this idle curiosity because after we going back, we go back to our old ways? Or are we continuing that effort even beyond the satsang? Continuously, every moment of our lives. If we are not doing that, then it is not going to happen. So no point in, it is like ek pag aage, do pag piche, tum tak kaise aaye? I go one step forward and two steps backwards. How do I reach you? You cannot reach me. The answer is no. So are we that sincere? Mumukshutva is there in us or not? That question we must ask. Is there water mixed in our oil? That is the question we must ask. Is there sincerity and pursuit of Godhood so strong in us, that mumukshutva is so strong in us or not? You should ask. Because if all this is there, then in the presence of a guru, he is saying, even if the guru is not a good guru, yatha tatopadeshena, something he is teaching, yet the disciple gets it like this, because disciple is worthy. There is a story of a guru who used to worship Shiva every morning, and every morning the milkmaid from the other side of the river must bring milk for Shiva Abhisheka. And this girl would come carrying the pot of milk on her head. Because the river was not flooded, she would just walk across or take a boat. One day in the rainy season, maybe Shravana Masam, completely the river was flooded in full speed. So she could not cross it, and she did not get a boatman also, because boats were also not plying due to strong currents. So she waited and waited, and finally she found a boatman and she came to this side. By the time it was already late for puja. The guru was extremely upset. How can you do that? You don't know that I have to do this on time. This I have been doing for years. How can you come late? Then she explained that the river is flooded and there were no boats plying, and so I had to wait for the boatman. Oh, Guru got upset. He said, if you really had devotion and faith, you could have walked on water and come and delivered this milk on time. She thought, oh, I didn't think about it. It didn't occur to me that I could have walked on water and come to deliver the milk. So she kept that in her mind. Next day it was even worse. The river was even more flooded. There were heavy rains through the night. And the Guru understood today again she will come late because there won't be any boat. So he happily probably slept a little longer and woke up a little late. But then she was there standing outside with the milk pot. And he asked, how did you come today? It is heavy rains and I'm sure there are no boats. He said, I didn't take the boat. Yesterday you told if you have devotion you could have walked on water. So I walked and came, she said. He said, oh, keep quiet, don't try to fool me. How can somebody walk on water? But you said so. You said you could have walked on water and come. I have come with the milk on time, walking on water. He didn't believe, but then he said, there is no other way she could have come. Let me go and check what she is saying. So he goes out and says, show me. She just walks on the water and comes back. She says, this is what I did. I told my bhakti for you and my Shiva. Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru. My bhakti to you and to Lord is equally strong. Therefore, in Bhakti, I chanted the name of Shiva and came. He said, really? My disciple, she is unlettered, milkmaid. What does she know about Rudram Chamakam Namakam? Never done a puja abhishekam. She is able to walk on water, then I must be really be able to walk because I am the guru. After all, I told. So he goes to the river, lifts his dhoti and sings. Why? Because he did not have faith he will walk on water. He lifts his dhoti, if dhoti gets wet. That very act of non-believing or not believing made him sink. But that poor, unlettered maiden who used to bring milk truly believed in Guru's word and walked on the river and came. That is why yatha tathopadeshana, even if the Guru is at fault, doesn't teach properly. Yet if Shishya is very strong in his pursuit of knowledge, he will get it like this. Ekalavya is the example. He didn't even have a Guru. But he learnt Dhanurvidya and he was better than all the disciples of Dronacharya. Better than Arjuna, better than everybody else. And that is why Dronacharya thought my job is at stake. If the king comes to know that there is somebody who claims to be my disciple and he knows more than my son and my disciples, I would lose my job. Dhritarashtra will kick me out. So out of that fear, he tells Ekalavya, you cut your thumb and give me as Guru Dakshina. And that was a big Shishya Droha that Dronacharya did, because of which he had that final fate of his. He died at the hands of the same Arjuna, whose interests he was trying to protect. So they should have unconditional, impartial love for all students. They can't have a favorite Arjuna and unfavorite Ekalavya. That's not possible in our schools. Everybody should be treated with same love and same compassion, same kindness. Nobody should be discriminated. When we had fees earlier, and some people's fees were forgiven and some people were paying, there was an air of superiority in the class. Because these people's parents would come in car and then they would directly demand from the teacher, why my son is not getting marks? And the teachers will come under pressure to oblige those parents first because they were paying. And those who were poor, their parents were also unlettered. They did not even know what to demand because they were too happy that my son is getting 2 meals a day, which I was not able to provide. They were very humble. So they were being looked down upon. And this I noticed. I said, no, this discrimination cannot go on. And so we removed everything, saying whether you are rich or poor, it doesn't matter to me. Everybody is treated equal. All teachers should teach everybody equally. No partiality anywhere. Likewise, a guru, even if he is faulty, here the shloka says, Dronacharya was a faulty guru. That is the classic example of Shishya Droha. Guru Droha examples there are plenty, who cheated their gurus. But Shishya Droha example, one Shukracharya, one Dronacharya, these two. Shukracharya tried to tell Bali Chakravarti, don't donate to this Vamana. No, he is doing wrong. Similarly, our Dronacharya, who tried to save his job by punishing Ekalavya for no fault of his. Ask him to cut his very thumb, which is so necessary for wielding a bow and arrow. So this is how this says even Guru is faulty. If Shishya is sincere, he will still get the knowledge. So you can't blame me anymore if you are not getting the knowledge. You can't say, you know what, my Guru is not too good. He is always like that. He confuses us. Therefore, I am confused about everything. No, the shloka says even if Guru is confusing, doesn't teach you well. If you were sincere, you would have got it by now. Now go and check your own selves. How sincere are you? No, you are all sincere. But still that 5-10% water is there in the lamp. That is why the lamp is sometimes burning, sometimes not burning. Unless you empty yourself of yourself, you cannot get God. That is very, very clear. This is the only demand Bhagavan had from me. He said, you empty yourself of yourself. There should not be any space for you in me. I have to occupy every single part of your being, thought, word and deed. And then only something like this can happen. Otherwise it won't happen. So it is truly about the sincerity. That is why Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparaha samyatendriyaha jnanam labdha param shanti achirena tadigacchati. Bhagavad Gita says Shraddha should be there in Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya, in the Guru and the Shastra, complete, sincere, unwavering faith and the willingness to work towards that faith should be there in everyone. And samyatendriyaha tatparaha, he should be ready, eager. to receive knowledge, eager to learn. And how to learn? Samyatendriya, by controlling the senses. Because senses, if they are not in your control, your mind is distracted, your mind is not at peace, not focused. How will you learn? Absolutely. That's why brahmacharya, in the student life, brahmacharya is very important, because without control on your senses, your mind will be running hither, thither, everywhere. How will you focus on your studies? That is why brahmacharya ashrama, samyatendriya. And what happens when you attain knowledge? Jnanam ladva param shanti. Ultimate peace, not ordinary peace, which is there today, tomorrow it is pieces again. Not that kind of peace. Once it comes, it stays forever. Prashanti. Ashanti, Shanti, Prashanti. That peace will come to who? Those who have Shraddha, who have control over their senses, and who are eager to learn. That studentship is there in them. Discipleship is there. And once they attain the knowledge, what happens? Shanti. They are at peace. And how does it peace come? Not after you write an exam, then checking of question and answer papers happen, then results are declared. No, then and there you attain peace, it says. No delay. Achira means without delay. Immediately you feel the result of whatever you have done. That is the beauty of spirituality, because for everything else you will have to wait. But for spiritual experience, if you are sincere and ready, eager, and with absolute control over your mind and senses, now and here you can attain. Some Swamiji said, if some Guruji says God has to be attained after so long, don't believe in them. If only a Guruji says God can be attained now and here, if you do 1, 2, 3 things, such a Guru is the real Guru. All others are just trying to elongate their term as a Guru and keep earning out of it. But this one who says you can attain God here and now, provided you become like this. How? You are Shraddhavan, you are Tatparaha, you are Samyatendriyaha. If you are like that here and now, you will attain Godhood. The one who says that is a real Guru. All others are just faking it, because they themselves have not got it, and so they'll confuse others also who come there. But the beauty of this is that, like that milkmaid who could get it like this, because she was of pure mind. She believed in what Guru said. Even though physically or practically or logically it is not possible to walk on water, that too in a flooded river. Not possible. Yet she believed. So the idea is that it depends on the Shishya more than the Guru. Bhagwan used to keep joking on such people who would come to this ashram, then go to another ashram, then go to third ashram. They're like people digging wells everywhere. Little they'll dig here. No water has come, let's go to the next place. Dig again. Nowhere they dig deep enough to get water, he used to say. They make pits everywhere and finally cry, there is no good Guru in this world. No, you could have gone to anybody. Even if he was not good, you could have become a good disciple and attained jnana. But you are not a good disciple, don't find excuse, Nachana jane angana teda dese in Hindi. It's an idiom which says, you don't know how to dance and you find fault with the stage. Stage was not good, so my dance didn't come out well. Don't do that. Don't find fault with ashrams and gurus and things. Maybe they are at fault. I am not saying they are not at fault. Yet if you were sincere, you would have got it. Because yatha tathopadeshena kritartha sattva buddhiman, the pure one, sattvika buddhi. And our Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in the 18th chapter, there are 3 kinds of buddhis we possess: sattvika buddhi, rajasika buddhi, and tamasika buddhi. So sattva buddhi says, pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya veti buddhi sa partha sattvuki, it says. Which means pravrittim, what to engage in; nivrittim, what to disengage from; what is right thing to do, what is wrong to do; what is shreyas, what is preyas. They understand it correctly. Karya akarye, what should be done, what should not be done, what is not to be done. Bhaya abhaya, what leads to fear and anxiety and what does not lead to it, means peace and equanimity. They can clearly differentiate between the two. Who? The Sattvika Buddhi people. And Bandham Moksham Chayaveti, and what knows very well this will lead to bondage and that will lead to liberation. They are very clear in their mind. That kind of Buddhi is called Sa Buddhi Partha Sattviki. Sattva Buddhi is that Buddhi which is able to clearly see the difference between the worldly and the spiritual. Clearly see this is bondage and that is liberation. This is to be done, that is not to be done. This is to be engaged in, that is to be rejected. They are very clear. As Nachiketa is told by Yamdharma Raja, Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyameta Tau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha. The discriminating one clearly sees this is Shreya, this is good, and this is Preya, this is pleasurable but not good. And is immediately able to discriminate between the two. Shreyo bhi preyaso abhibhyo vrinite, preyo hi mando yogakshemad vrinite, he says. The one who is discriminating, he chooses the path of goodness, Shreya, Nivritti Marga. Why? Because he knows this is what is ultimately going to lead to highest realization of self. Whereas the fool, preyo hi mando, manda means fool, of dull wit. What does he do? He chooses the easy path because it is very attractive. It is pain-free, it is easy. But what happens at the end? He suffers. Yoga Kshemad, for you think that his Yoga Kshema is in this path, his welfare is in this easy path. It is not true. Many people don't want to work hard. I was telling leadership awards are being given. You have heard these stories. People have spent 40 years to reach where they have reached in life. Of continuous hard work, how many sacrifices, how much of pain and suffering they have undergone. But today they are reaping the fruits of all that. Whereas now new generation entrepreneurs, they want to become billionaires overnight. They want to somehow get some valuation, fool some people around and get their valuation done. They're not interested in really contributing to society any value. They just want to make money and run away. Plenty of that is happening right now. That is why I used to tell all these people, don't chase valuation, chase value. You should create value for the society. If you create value, society will definitely reward you for that. But don't do these gaming apps, gambling apps, online betting apps. What's all this? And they have billions of dollars of valuations. Because every fool is into it now. This Mandohi, Yogakshema, they think I'll make quick bucks. Gambling is like that. Lotteries. They want to make quick bucks. That is not the way of life. That is why even yesterday I said, even if Atma Jnana is given to you, handed out like a laddu in your hand, still you will not be motivated to achieve it again. Because you haven't worked for it. But when you work for it, and you attain it, it stays with you. You never lose it. You never lose the enthusiasm for it, nor the interest in it. It remains with you. But if you just get it like that, you don't enjoy it. I miss those days of mine where I could go to temples on my own as a normal devotee. I could stand in queues for hours in hot sun and finally find that one moment of darshan of the Lord, and you feel so fulfilled because you have earned it with hard work. You stood in queues, you jostled with people, and you knew very well that that one moment is all that you will get to see the deity. You don't have more opportunity. You are continuously remembering God because you don't want to miss out. That one moment your mind should not get distracted, right? That's sadhana. Then you enjoy the darshan. Now like a VIP, I am just ushered in. Even if I stand for 20 minutes, it is not the same as struggling through those queues to get there. That joy is different. Why? Because you have earned it with effort. Likewise in life also, whatever comes with real hard work, real effort, you enjoy the fruits. सभी कहते हैं मेहनत का फल मीठा होता है, they say in Hindi. Since I am more from the Hindi side, I have read a lot of Hindi literature, so I can only quote from there. Success is very sweet, they say. Success tastes sweet. For those who never succeed, there is a poem. Those who have never succeeded, to them success is very sweet. But those who have the habit of succeeding, they don't even appreciate it anymore. Because it's too easy, it's come very easy to them. Hard work, honesty, sincerity, real austerity. These are the things which give you the joy of anything in life. Whatever comes too easy, it's never so joyful. And people take it for granted. So Sattva Buddhi people are like those. They know which is Nivritti Marga, which is Pravritti Marga, which will take us to God, which will take us away from God. They clearly discriminate. That Buddhi is like that, very, very sharp. What is right, what is wrong, what will lead to fear. It means what leads to fear? Mistakes lead to fear. If there is no mistake, there is no fear. So they will never choose the path of mistakes. They will always choose the right path, not the wrong path. Like that Bandham Moksham, what will lead to bondage, liberation. That buddhi is Satviki. So what is Rajasi buddhi? Which says that I am spiritual but always desirous of the world, money, position, power. But on top of that, they keep saying, yes, I want God only, God is everything for me. These are Rajasi buddhi people. So there is one more shloka which says, Rajasi buddhi shloka, which talks about how Rajasi buddhi says. It says, Yaya dharma adharmam cha, karyam cha akaryameva cha, ayathavat prajanati, buddhi sa partha rajasi. That buddhi which confused between what is dharma, what is adharma, what is to be done, what is not to be done. And ayathavat, how it should be, yathavat means as it should be, they understand. But they understand it another way. They misunderstand it basically. They are confused about these things. And they justify also their confusion. That is the worst part of it. Why they did this? Sir, I was not wrong. They start with that. I was never wrong. That fellow did this, so I did that. And some justification they'll give why they are not on the right path. Those are Rajasi buddhi, because ambitious and desirous buddhi this is. Selfish buddhi. Sattvika buddhi is selfless buddhi. Rajasic buddhi is selfish buddhi. It wants for itself. So it justifies also all the wrong that they do. They are also doing wrong. Why you don't punish them first? Why are you catching me? Like this they will give excuses. First you tell him, then you tell me. He was first to start, I was second, so first you punish him. All kinds of excuses they'll give. Then say, why so much running behind money? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, everything is to be attained. I am attaining artha, that is also part of purushartha. What is wrong with it? All kinds of excuses, like that excuse. Why are you trying to be sannyasi? First to be grihastha, then be vanaprastha, then sannyasi. What are you doing here? You are an old lady, old man. You still are stuck in grihastha. Why are you not doing to sannyasa and vanaprastha? No, that they won't follow. So these kind of convenient philosophies they adopt. Give excuses and justify their wrongdoings also. These are Rajasi buddhi people. Very clever. They can fool the guru only saying why they were not wrong. That kind of buddhi are there, which are called as Rajasi buddhi. So even good advice is given to that, they will not understand why this good advice, because they are very ambitious and desirous. Itime jnanam akyatam guhyad guhyataram maya vimrud etadasheshena yathechasi tadakuru. Krishna tells the Arjuna same thing. That Arjuna fellow was so very doubting, continuously was asking questions. So finally Krishna says, last chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, I have told you whatever I knew. The secret of the secrets I have told you. All that I knew ever, everything I have told you. Now think about it, contemplate on it properly, and do as you think is right, whatever your wish is. But don't turn around and tell tomorrow that you should have forced me to do the right thing. Why you did not stop me from doing wrong thing? All that I am not going to take anymore. I am telling you what is I feel is right, what is good, what is my knowledge of this. After that, I leave it to you. So that is why Uttamadhikari, Adhamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Adhamadham Adhikaris, all kinds of Adhikaris means students come to. Here Ashtavakra says, Janaka, you are an Uttamadhikari. Because whatever I told you, in whatever way I told you, Kritarthaha, you become fulfilled, you have understood it. And that is my joy. This is Ashtavakra's joy. That is my joy. Because I have met lot of people who have come saying, Swamiji, I want Brahmagyana, I want Atmagyana, please teach me this, please teach me that. And sincerely, like I did, sincerely I taught also, thinking that fellow is real and that fellow really wants to learn. But at the end I realized that he was just fooling around, wasting my time. So what's the point in teaching such people? So good, sincere students will automatically learn whatever is taught to them. Even if it's not taught to them, they will make their self-efforts and learn. So students don't do well in the class, yes, to some extent maybe their inability to understand the subject, but largely it is their sincerity which matters. If they're sincere, they will get it somehow or the other. That is how most of the Gyanis are very humble, because they know this is God's grace. I have just been sincere in my efforts. This is Guru's grace, God's grace, I have got it. They never take pride and ego in their achievements. They are very humble. So they are Sattva Buddhi people. And there is third Buddhi called Tamasi Buddhi. Just for knowledge sake, we will go through that. It understands everything ulta. That is Tamasi Buddhi. Rajasi Buddhi at least confused. Should I do this or should I do that? Selfishly they think. Whereas Tamasi Buddhi people, just the ulta. You just understand things opposite to what it is. If I tell, like one fellow went to the doctor and he said, I have been bitten by a scorpion. do something. He said, okay, take this ointment and apply where the scorpion has bitten you. So he goes and applies and then comes back saying, nothing has changed, I'm still suffering. What happened? He said, where did you apply the ointment? He said, yes. Where did you apply? You told where the scorpion had bitten me, I had applied there. Show me where it is. No, not my scorpion bit me near the wall at home. I applied to the wall. So that's why it's not curing. These are तामसी बुद्धि. कुछ भी बोलो उनको, सब उल्टा समझते हैं. They are the ones who will blame others for everything. Tamasi buddhi, because they didn't understand properly. They don't have sincerity. They don't even have intelligence. They're dull-witted fools, and they don't understand. Even if you tell them, they'll just do opposite of everything and disappear. So you have to be very careful with tamasi buddhi people. First of all, if you're dealing with them, and if that is your lot, be extra careful. Because you will say something, they'll understand another thing, they'll end up doing third thing, and finally when you come back and see it's all done and destroyed. That is very dangerous. So company, don't be making friends with tamasic buddhi people who are extremely lazy, full of inertia, dull-witted. They do not understand a thing how much ever you tell them, nor they have energy or interest to put efforts and understand. What can you do about them? Leave them there. So some students asked me, Swamiji, if we don't make friends with people who are less intelligent than us, then who will redeem them? I told, first you redeem yourself. Later you redeem all those dull-witted fellows. You are strong, not strong enough. You want to go and help. You don't know how to swim, but you want to jump to save somebody who is drowning. What is the point? You will also drown, he will also drown. Two will die instead of one. So when students say, I'm going home, please bless me, I will transform the entire village and come. I tell them, as long as you don't get transformed by them, I'm happy. Come back as you went. Don't go and ruin yourself in their company. But once you are strong, you have realized the self, you have become that jnani, you have developed that strength of character, then it doesn't matter. You roam wherever, swachanda charina you are. Why antara vikalpa shunyasya? There is nothing inside you which troubles you. You don't get distracted, you get attached. Then Satchanda Charina, go where you want. You walk into a gambling den, you will come out unscathed. You walk into the gang of thieves and thugs and criminals, you will still be remaining pure and unsullied. Why? Because you have changed, you are transformed. You cannot, this is irreversible process. You can't become them again. Then once you are fully magnetized, yes, go around magnetizing other iron pieces. I don't mind that. But unless you are a full magnet, you are only a partial magnet, because you are in my presence, you suddenly feel like a jnani. Because there is a super magnet sitting here, and that magnetic aura makes you also become magnetized. For some time that magnetism remains. But once you are far away from the magnet, you become iron again. And then you want to go and save other iron pieces. How is it possible? You will get rusted. So you become a magnet, magnets won't rust. Then you go and save others. So full transformation is important. This half transformation, half knowledge is very dangerous. Likewise, Sattvika Buddhi people get the knowledge like this, and what is their nature? How do they behave after that? A beautiful next shloka will also talk about it. It is a shloka number 32 in 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which says, Adharmam dharmamiti ya manyate tamsavrata. The one who thinks of dharma as adharma, because of their ignorance, such people are of tamsi buddhi. Sarvarthan viparitanscha. Everything you tell them, they understand opposite. Where do you apply the ointment? They'll go and apply on the wall. Those kind of fools are tamsi buddhi people. Whatever you teach them, whole life you teach them also, nothing will go inside them. Because they are not meant to. They are not pure in their mind. They are lazy. They don't want to work hard. And again, as I said, they find faults with others for whatever they go through. They blame it on others. That is their nature. So stay away from such people is what the idea. Make good company, satsanga. Live in the company of sattva buddhi people who also are desirous of God only and not of the world. If you're in their company, you will get inspired. You will help each other walk the path. And that is why it is said, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk for long, walk together. So that is why togetherness, satsanga is very, very important. So next shloka 15.2 on page number 190. What does Ashtavakra say? He says, Moksho Vishaya Vairasyam Bandho Vaishayiko Rasaha Etavadeva Vijnanam Yathechasi Tatha Kuru. Just now I said, Moksho Vishaya Vairasyam. Who gets this moksha? Who gets liberated? Who develops Vishaya Vaira? means who is disgusted with sensual things. Not just disinterested, disgusted, as if they are enemies. It is said, no, kama, krodha, tatha, lobha, trividam narkasidam dwaram, nashana atmanaha, it says. It destroys you. Kama, krodha, tatha, lobha, tasmad etatrayam tyajet. It says, give up all these three enemies of yours. These are enemies, kama, krodha, lobha. So what it says, Vishaya Vairasya I should become. They should become disgusted by the worldly things, not just disinterested, not just dispassionate. Absolute disgust means I don't want it at all. How can I have it? I don't want it at all. That kind of, like you are disgusted or you will give up poison. Remember in the beginning, the very first shloka, Ashtavakra says, Vishayan Vishavatyaja, give up the pursuit of pleasures of the world like you will give up poison. You won't say, let me have half a cup of it if not full. You will say it is poison, I don't want one drop of it also. You will drop it, you will throw it immediately. Isn't it? That is the kind of strength of mind should be there now. Sattva buddhi people. Vishaya vairaha. They should develop enmity or disgust towards all other worldly ideas. Only interest in God. Then what happens? Bandho vaishayiko rasaha. And the interest in the Vishayas also should be completely given up. Remember Bhagavad Gita says, he says, Rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. The one who gives up not only the seeking of pleasures by distancing himself from that. Niraharasya dehinaha. Not only that, he distances himself from worldly people, worldly things, worldly ideas, worldly places. That's a good beginning. But not that standards are no more the standards. New standards have come. What is the new standard? Just distancing yourself from worldly thoughts or worldly people, worldly places, worldly objects is not enough. From deep inside also, any desire for worldliness should be uprooted. It is not sufficient that you have just physically abandoned those ideas. Internally, if you are still secretly desiring for it, even then it is not right. That is why rasavarjam rasopyasya. He says, one, Vishaya Vairasya and Vaishayiko rasaha. You should be able to give up the taste for it also. The taste for it also. You are not drinking anymore. You are not an alcoholic, so to say. External, you have given up drinking. But deep inside, there is a desire. The taste is still there in your mind, in your tongue. It means anytime you will fall again. Why? Because if some drunkard comes in your way and he is drinking, you will see that because you still have taste for it, you will ask for one peg. But if you have totally given up that interest also in it, let one full bottle lie in front of you. You will not touch it because you have given up. That is gone from the root. So you cannot again engage in that. Why? Because you have become completely disinterested in the worldly things. That is how one should be, Ashtavakra is saying. So the standards are going up. Earlier I said run away from bad company, join the good company, fine. That is the beginning, but that is not the end of the journey. End of the journey is from inside also you have given up any desire for the worldly things. You can know, and how will you know? Outside I can judge you, see you that as you have distanced yourself from wrong people, wrong things, wrong worldly ideas and worldly pleasures. I can see it. But how do we know what is happening on your inside? Only you know. And if those seeds are still there, they will germinate back at some point in time. You will meet some people and then one day one alumni asked Bhagavan, why is it that when students are with you, they behave so well, they all look like angels. But many of them, once they have graduated, gone outside, get distracted. Not all, but many get distracted. Why is that? They were so good in front of you. What happens when they are not here? Then Bhagavan said, in front of me, all their vasanas are suppressed because of my presence. It's like a summer season. All the grass is dried. All the land is clean. Because of the presence of such a divine personality, our vasanas are suppressed. But they are not eliminated. They are not uprooted. They are there. Once the seasons change, like rains come, again they grow up, all the grass comes back. So till they are in my presence, they are magnetized, they are motivated, they are inspired, so they do not feel desire for things of the world. But the moment they leave my presence and go away and don't carry me in their heart anymore, the old vasanas and desires, they come up again. And that is the problem why this fluctuation happens. That is why he is saying, Vaishayiko rasaha, the interest in the worldly things also should be completely gone. Rasavarjam rasopyasya. the interest in worldly things should disappear. Worldly things disappearing is not enough. The interest in it should disappear, because if the interest disappears, even if the worldly things are around you, it doesn't affect you. How does it affect you? It doesn't affect you at all, because you have changed from the inside. Many people are there who suddenly given up coffee, suddenly given up smoking, suddenly given up after coming here. Temporarily on the outside, we only distance ourselves from those distractions, but deep inside, the taste for it is not yet gone. You still desire secretly for tasting it again. Till there is a taste on your tongue for things of the world, there is a good chance that you will fall into it again. But if it is gone away from inside, then whatever temptations come, it won't affect you anymore, because you have changed from inside. So he is asking like that. Do like that. How? Not only think of the worldly things as your enemy, develop some kind of a disgust and enmity towards it. It means a way to say extreme dispassion, not just lightweight dispassion. Extreme, intense dispassion you develop, and even the taste for it should not linger in your inside. Only then, etavadeva vijnanam, only then, when you know that you have developed that kind of ultimate distaste for the things of the world, then go about doing what you want. Yathechasi tata kuro, swachanda charinaha, be free, you go anywhere, nothing will touch you. Even if you pile up billions of dollars, you will have not an iota of attachment towards it. Even if you develop a huge empire as a king, that Janaka is of course a king, you will have not an iota of attachment or passion towards anything. Let any amount of distractions and temptations come in your way, you will not be affected by that, because you have changed from inside. Then you become free. So when is the freedom? Freedom is when you have changed from the inside. That is freedom. Swatantra, when you are governed by your within, not by somebody else without. It's not about getting freedom from somebody else's rule. It is when yourself rules your mind. And when, even in the face of all the temptations, nothing happens to you, because the inside of you has changed. It has no more lingering, secret desires for anything. That has gone away from the root. Such a person alone can completely be absolutely steady. And such a person, go wherever you want. Who can touch you? Who can distract you? Who can tempt you? Who can dissuade you from this path? Nobody. So yathechasi tatha kuru. Do as you please. After that, you want to be a king? Be a king. You want to you want to, if you need to be a king, be a king. If you need to be a father, be a father. If you need to be a rich man, be a rich man. Doesn't matter. Or you need to be a beggar, so be it. Nothing will affect you. You have to reach that state. So this is how Janaka is explaining. But very difficult to give up taste for the world. So what is the method? Bhagavan used to say, these children first drink only mother's milk. Then they are persuaded to eat the food, outside food. Anna Prashna is done. But children will not like it first. They reject it. Because this is something that they are not used to. They don't like it, rice and other things. So they keep spitting it out. If the mother starts thinking, "Ayo, my baby is not eating, let me keep feeding breast milk," whole life she cannot feed it. So she has to change her ways, or baby's ways, and insists that he eats. Even if he spits it out, even if he'll eat. And one day the child develops taste for rice and dal and the food outside. And then lifelong, he becomes so interested. Now without one day, if rice is not there, he is not happy. That kind of. So tastes can change. Habits can change. It's not that it is impossible. You cannot give this as an excuse that, no, I was born like this. So what can I do? No, you can do something about it. You can develop this passion for worldly things. You can develop interest in spiritual things. It is possible. It is possible with the right effort and the right company. All this is possible. So running away from bad company is the first step, which helps you to distance yourself from those distractions. Like we practice driving in an open ground where there are no vehicles. That is the first step. But eventually you have to go on the road. But when do you go on the road? You will be checked whether you are capable of driving on your own, whether you have become independent driver. Then the traffic police person will test you and give you a license. With that license, now you are free to drive wherever you want. Swachanda charinaha. Yathechasi tadha kuru. You're free now. Go to the main road, go to highway, go to a busy market, or go to an empty village. Doesn't matter. Because you have got that skill of driving in your control. You can control your car. But till you have control over your car, will anybody allow you to drive? Can you be Swachhanda Charinaha? Can you do Yathechasi Tathakuru? Not possible. You'll cause accidents, damage to yourself and others. So you must practice in an empty ground. How? With the help of a coach, a driver. Then you are free to drive wherever you want. That is the idea of Yathechasi Tathakuru. Now people should not miss the three padas of the shloka, catch the fourth one. Ashtavakra says Yathechasi Tathakuru, do as you please. That is what the modern generation says. My life, my terms. Nobody should tell me who I am. This woke generation of today's. They're very, very proud about this thing. I will do as I please, however I want to live. World doesn't work like that. They are those who have Rajasi Buddhi or Tamasi Buddhi. Rajasi Buddhi does what confuses itself. Our scriptures talk about right to freedom. Right to freedom does not mean you do as you please. Right to freedom means you do not have to work or act under any compulsion. Even the compulsion of your mind and senses. That is slavery to mind and senses. That is not freedom. Now I am free, I will drink as much as I want. Does it make any sense? Does it make any good? No. So the idea of freedom or swechha or swachhanda or yathechasi is not about just doing as it comes to you, your wish. No, it is about doing what is right and being free from the compulsions of your senses and the mind which pushes you to do things which are wrong. To be able to choose the Shreyo Marga is your freedom. And to follow that good path is the real exercise of freedom. Not the other way. We are all free in a country, but can you go and murder anybody, loot anybody, cheat anybody just because you feel like? You are not allowed to do that. That is not freedom. Even if you know how to drive a car in a free country, so-called the freeway, it doesn't mean that you drive as you please, right? There are rules within which you drive. Likewise, life has certain rules of Shreyas, Preyas, within which you have to operate. And that freedom should be exercised with that responsibility to do the right thing. So that is the idea of freedom. Freedom is not about just going madly doing whatever you please like. No, that is not freedom. But now, new generation, many people argue like that. Don't tell us what to do. My life, my terms. That's not the way it is. Your life is a part of a collective living of society. You are not an individual. Don't you need all these people around you to survive? You need. Then you also have to be nice to everyone. Your freedom should be used cautiously, judiciously, responsibility. So that is the idea that he says once you have developed absolute dispassion for the worldly things, not only that you have distanced them from the outside, but inside also you have developed distaste for them. Outside distance, inside distaste. When you have developed that, go wherever you want, do whatever it takes for you to do, you will not be affected by all the distractions of the world because you have become free. Like once you have the control of the car, go onto the highway, no problem. You will not cause damage to anybody. You will be able to reach your destination safely. That is the idea of Ashtavakra. He says, Janaka, once you have developed this absolute distaste for the world, you do that. Whatever you want, you do. You don't have to worry about anything. Oh, if I go there, I might get distracted. If I get distracted, then I might fall back in my spiritual progress. No such fears won't be there because you have changed. You become a magnet now. Don't worry, when any iron piece comes to you, you are not going to get demagnetized because you are a permanent magnet now. You are not a temporary magnet. Science students, anyway, all 6th class people also know about magnetism. I think chapters might be there in 6th, 7th class. You see, you do this experiment, put a piece of iron next to a permanent magnet. You'll see it will start behaving like a magnet. Take it away, it doesn't behave like a magnet anymore. So there is a process with which you can make them as permanent magnets. Once you convert that iron piece into a permanent magnet at a certain temperature and pressure and all that stuff, once it becomes permanent magnet, it doesn't lose the property. So become permanent magnet is what this shloka is telling. After that, go wherever you want. How will you get demagnetized? Let me see. So you are a Swachhanda Charina after that. That nothing touches you. And our Taittiriya Upanishad says the true taste, rasa is the word he has used. Rasa means taste. Rasana. our tongue is called rasana, means it tastes. Is rasa. He says, our Upanishads say, raso vai saha. The true taste of things are in the divinity only. Enjoy that divinity. Develop taste for the divine. And one shloka phrase comes from Taittiriya Upanishad in, I think, Brahmananda Valli. It says, raso vai saha rasam hyevayam labdhanandi bhavati esha hyeva nandayati. That become the desirer of that rasa. Because he is rasa. He is the real taste. God is very tasty. We should not give up on God. Taste God. Once you taste God, you don't want to taste this world. Because you have developed that. Once you eat in a good restaurant, you'll say, very well made food. After that, you feel this bandi food and all is not tasting good. Because your tastes have changed. If improved, it happens like that. There were a group which had come to Puttaparthi. I've heard this story from somebody, so I'm just telling that. I believe that group had a person who had some habits. But Bhagwan was very kind to that group, so he would go to that group and ask them every day, inquire with them how they were. But this young man in that group who was very devoted, very, very service oriented, but he had a few habits. So I believe he used to smoke or something like that. So Bhagwan went to him and told, you give up smoking for my sake. So he said, yes, for your sake, since you are asking, I'll give up smoking. Next time Bhagwan went to him and told, you drink too much coffee. Give up drinking coffee for my sake. He said, because you are demanding, so I'll give up drinking coffee also for your sake. Then third time Bhagwan goes, said, you eat too much of ice creams. Give up eating ice creams. He said, I'm not going to give up eating ice cream. So Bhagwan was like, why? How dare to tell Bhagwan, no, I will not give up eating ice cream. You made me give up smoking. You made me give up drinking coffee. I'm okay, but I will not give up eating ice cream because there is something which is common between you and ice cream. Then this was now Bhagwan's turn. He said, what is that which is common between me and ice cream, for which sake you will not give up ice cream? He said, you are God, you figure this out. He didn't tell the answer. Again, I believe next day Bhagwan was curious because what is that he wants to say about Bhagwan and ice cream, for which sake he won't give up eating ice creams. He didn't answer. This went on for a few days, and then finally Bhagwan said, you have to tell me today what is the reason why you won't give up eating ice creams, what's common. Then he said, is it coolness between ice cream and me? We are, God and ice cream are like same, he said. So what is that? He says, coolness? He said, no. He said, is it sweetness? He said, no. Is it softness? He said, no. Then Bhagwan was really at his wit's end, saying, what is that then that you cannot give up ice cream for? He said, because you and ice cream both melt very easily. That is why I will not give up eating ice creams. So he had developed taste for God. That taste is okay. But he gave up the taste for coffee, taste for smoking. But he had taste for God. He told that God is like that. He's cooling, he's soothing, he's sweet, he's soft. But he also melts for the prayers, true sincere prayers that come out from heart. The idea is that develop taste for God. Once you develop taste for God, the world will not taste anymore that good. It will be insipid, it will be stale. It will not be nice. And somebody feeds you plenty of world also, you feel, no, I rather have one cup of God, that is enough for me. Don't feed me this whole bowl full of world. That is what you will say. Why you want to feed me all these things? I don't like these things because these are not tasty anymore. It is only quantity, there is no quality there. Bhagavan used to often say, one spoon of cow's milk is better than a barrel full of donkey's milk. The nutrition in it. That is the idea. This much of God is more than sufficient than that much of world. So the one who has developed taste for God, raso vai saha, what happens to him? He says, rasam hi evayam labdhanandi bhavati. Once he attains this rasa, what happens? He becomes full of ananda. Brahmaveda brahmaiva bhavati. Like that, rasam hi evayam labdha anandi bhavati. Becomes anandi bhavati, full of joy. Esha hyeva anandayati. Such a person will attain the ultimate supreme bliss. Why? Because he has developed taste for God and he wants only God and nothing else in life. So that is the idea. Bhagavan used to always quote this bird, this Chataka bird. The Chataka bird would not drink from the pools and puddles, the dirty water. It will wait for the first rain to come. It will drink only from the raindrops that come from the sky. Even if it's thirsty, it won't satisfy its thirst drinking water which is fallen on the ground. It would wait for the purest water that comes from the skies. Likewise, if we develop a taste for God, we will not like to ruin our appetite by eating the world. Sometimes people eat junk food, and then when the mother serves them very nice, hot, freshly cooked, nutritious meal, they have no hunger, they don't have any capacity to eat. They have ruined their appetite eating the wrong things. So rather wait, but not eat the world. Rather wait to taste God. That is also sadhana, that is also patience. That I will wait for God to show Himself. I will not entertain myself with the world. I do not want. That is why Meera, mere to Giridhar Gopal, दूसरो न कोई, जाके सिर मोर मुकुट मेरो pati सोई. Mine is only Giridhar Gopala. I have nobody else in this world. And the one who has that peacock feather on his crown, he alone is my husband. He is alone my Lord. This man with a crown of jewels on his head, the Rana, he is not my husband. Maybe to the body. But my real Lord, my real Swami, my real Master is the one with the peacock feather on his crown. Not this one. She says, Aswan jalasichi sichi prema beli boy. I have cried and cried and cried for his love. Because I was getting love from my husband also. If I desired to, I would have got love. I was a queen. I didn't want his love. I cried, shed tears of separation, of longing. Asuvana jalasiche prema beli boy. And what did I water it for? I used the tears to water this plant of love for my Lord. Prema beli boy. अब तो यह फैल गई आनंद फल होई. Now that small sapling that I had planted and watered with these tears of separation and longing for my Krishna has now grown into a tree, and it is bearing fruits of joy, fruits of bliss. Because I only enjoy thinking of Krishna. I cannot satisfy myself with these worldly ties. For me, only that matters, nothing else matters. It was not like, okay, you be my husband, I'll also be the queen and also enjoy the comforts of the palace, but I'll also at the same time be devoted to Krishna and do only things for Krishna. It was not possible for her. She was given only the choice between Krishna or the husband. She had to choose very clearly between her palace or her queen, status of the queen, or be on her own without a roof over her head. And she chose the other one. This is the beauty of the ones who have developed taste for God. Even if they are hungry, they would not ruin their appetite with worldly things. They will only wait for the divine meal. Even if they have to starve, they will rather starve than eat the worldly junk. That distaste you should develop for worldliness. That even if you are extremely hungry, still you won't eat that. Little extra benefits will cut corners, tell lies, cheat people, deceive anybody. And even droha to Guru and God we are ready to do. Why? Because taste for the world. Some more, some more, some more. But the Gyanis, even if you give them everything, they are not affected by that. Why Tyagaraja could say, Nidhi chala sukma, Ramuni sannidhi seva sukma, he says. Is the wealth more pleasurable? Or the proximity and the service to Lord Rama is more pleasurable for me? I will rather starve. His wife says, we have a young daughter to be married. And this is like God sent offer. King is telling, he will make you the Asthana Vidwana of his court. You sing his praises, entertain him. We will have wealth, we will get our daughter married. We won't have to starve like this. Tyagaraja says, nothing doing. I will beg on the streets, doing uncha vritti. And whatever people give, we will cook and eat. But I will not go and sing the praises of the king just to fill this belly. I will not do it, he says. So also Annamacharya, so also great ones, all great ones did that. They had a very worldly wise, miserable life because they didn't have food to eat, nice clothes to wear, a good house to live, or they could not take care of their responsibilities and so on and so forth. But deep inside, they could not be untrue to themselves. They could not lie to themselves. They could not cheat themselves because they only wanted God. And there is no way they could have also enjoyed the world and still be devoted to God. That was not possible. That's why Meera very clearly, Mere to Giridhar Gopal, dusra no koi. Nobody else is mine. Like Mere to Giridhar Gopal, also my husband, my mother-in-law, my family. No. Nobody else. Mine, only he is mine. I am only his. Nothing else is mine. Am I ready to starve? I am ready to run around, beg around in the streets singing the glory, but I will not budge. I will not compromise. I will not negotiate on this matter. How many of us are desirous of God like this, you tell me, who are not ready to compromise at all? Come what may, let us lose our wealth, no problem. Let us lose all relations, no problem. Let us lose all affiliations, no problem. Let us lose all associations, no problem. Everything that we have built up with great effort and love, all this while, in these many years, let it all go to dogs, no problem. But I will not give up on God. How many? Hardly. That's why Viralohi, it will say some point in time. Viralohi Mahashaya, such a great one. Rarely you will find one in a billion, maybe. That is why these Meeras, these Allama Prabhus, these Akka Mahadevis, these Tulsi Dasas, these Namadevas and Gyaneshwars, these are unique. They don't come every time, every other day. This doesn't happen. So also Buddha or Mahavira or Saint Francis of Assisi and the likes of those. They don't happen every day. They are people of some character, some strength. You can't even understand. As I said, only another one who is like that will understand. तेरी महिमा क्या पहचाने, कोई क्या पहचाने, जो तुझसा हो वो तुझे जाने. Only another Mirabai will know what this Mirabai was and why did she do what she did. Others can only at best feel pity or feel some empathy or feel some love and respect. But can they ever feel what a Mira felt? No. Unless they are that Mira, they cannot understand what a Mira is like. So all these ideas in the world that we theoretically read up and think, oh, we have understood every of these things and we are ready to do whatever. No. Unless it has happened, it has not happened. That is how it is. That is how all desires get replaced by this one desire for God. And that is a good desire. So that is the process. Replace first. Replace the lower ones with higher desires. Ultimately, no desire requires, because once you become God, how can you desire for God? It's like I desire for myself. How is it possible? You are that what you desire for. Such a stage will come for those who follow this path, who do not get distracted, deviated, and dissuaded from walking this path because of small and big problems and challenges and temptations and distractions. No, they're very clear. They're very clear that this is what they want. And after they have become that, let anything happen, it doesn't shake them. It's like a tree which has developed deep roots. Now let the storms come, winds come, let the tornadoes come. How does it matter? Its roots have gone so deep that it won't fall. These shallow ones only will fall. So that is the idea, that you must develop that depth in your spirituality, and that is directly proportional to your distaste for the world. The worldly things don't taste anymore the same to you. You develop a distaste for it. So even if they give you, you don't eat it. Why? Because you don't have taste for it, you don't like it. Otherwise these spineless spiritual seekers are there. Today they are this way, tomorrow they are this way. That thali ka bangan, they call thal ka bangan, means the brinjal in the plate. It rolls both ways. As the plate turns, it rolls. Ganga gaye to Ganga Das, Jamuna gaye to Jamuna Das, they call them. If you go to the Ganges, you become devotee of Ganges. You go to the Yamuna, you become the devotee of Yamuna river. They don't have any spine, they don't have any standing, they don't have any character and strength. So what's the use of being such devotees is the question. Be free only after you have attained the highest, because after that nothing touches you, nothing tempts you, nothing distracts you. So that is how Janaka is now, and Ashtavakra is so joyful. He's saying, oh, I've got one final disciple like this, Sattva Buddhi disciple. Whatever I taught, he has learnt it thoroughly. So that is how one should become.